G'day my friends, Marty Weir here from Marty's Garden. I tell you what, man, am I excited with some of the stuff that I'm seeing around here. Now the reason being is because it was about only 2 or 3 weeks ago I made a real decision. I cut back on some of the things that I was doing here with work and stuff like that and decided, yep, I'm going to have a real good crack at Marty's Garden, this worm farming thing, and just really put more time into it. I sort of decided to stop on my photography for a while and I'm not collecting as much coffee grounds. I've got a huge amount of compost outside and putting more time into the videos. And what happened was I was contacting Mark Valencia from Self-Sufficient Me. YouTube Accelerate got in touch with them. Then they got in touch with me through Mark. And I'm a bit emotional at the moment, but I'm starting a course called YouTube Accelerator, and it's all paid for by Screen Australia. And I'm just over the moon, guys. So I just totally am. And so you're going to see more content from me coming out. But in a few weeks, I'm going to be studying 4 hours a day for a month as well. So we're going to see how things roll out over then. But I tell you what, great times ahead. Really stoked, and I'm sure you guys that have been following me for a while here are really stoked too. So give me a big thumbs up if you're into that. If you didn't hear about it in the live show, all I'm saying is hallelujah. Woo! I'm excited, and I'm also really excited about something else. We're digging into the farms now, doing these deep dives, right, and looking around inside the farms. We're going into the maize worm farm now and having a look at the cardboard. Yep, it's the cured cardboard mixed in with the compost. 2 layers in this worm farm, and we're digging down in. And then at the end, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I found a discovery. I think I've made and invented a whole new worm trap, which is going to be in the next video coming up. I was going to tell you at the end of the video, but I'm too excited. It's really, really cool. All right, as I said, just working on pushing this to the limits now, guys. And hopefully we will see you at all the vlogs. It's getting really exciting, isn't it? I can see I'm hyped up. Even my hair's standing up a bit more than usual. All right, let's go and have a look in the maize worm farm, shall we? Cheers.
G'day, my name's Marty Weir and I'm an agricultural horticulturist right here in Australia. And if you want to learn worm farming and even learn how to grow amazing plants using worms, then please subscribe to my channel. There's lots of cool content coming up in here all the time for you to devour.
So here we have it, my friends, the grand opening of the maize worm farm. Now, I can't get the whole edges of the farm in because we need to get the lens nice and close so we get good focus. So this is not sponsored in any way by Maize. They haven't paid me anything or given me anything other than over a year ago they gave me a few free farms. But I'm just doing the experiments in these because they're easy to film and move around and not too heavy, and they fit in my little space, which is right outside there in the El Dorado worm farming, worm wrangling area. So this is really cool. We're in the garage, and yeah, this is my setup for the time being. Now, as you can see here, we've got some cardboard, some old corrugated cardboard sort of lying on top, and underneath we've got cured cardboard, right? And there's a mixture of worms through here. And I haven't really been feeding this system other than the cured cardboard and the compost that sort of mixed through. And down below there's another level, which we'll have a look, which is in the second tier. But first, let's get into this and see how well they're going. Now, I think they've been about 3 weeks in here. I said I was not going to use the maize worm farm anymore, but we've brought it back to run these experiments. Now, it's very cold. I'm going to have to get myself a worm farming kit to test these temperatures. And I'm going to try and order one of those soon. I don't have one anymore. And you can see, look, little sprouts come up in there, still alive. I don't know what that is, but we have our first little worm. I'd say that's a little, it's hard to say when they're very small like this what they are. I'm still learning more about them. This is a very young worm, or we just dropped him there, and hasn't really got a pronounced clitellum or anything yet. It's very stripy though, has a little white little tip on the end of the tail there, so I'd say more than likely it could be a tiger. It's just got that stripy look. Oh yeah, you can see it's stretching the head out there. I'd say more than likely that's a tiger. Little baby tiger. Now I've been getting some of my worms wrong here and there, because I wasn't wearing my glasses in the last video and sort of missed a lot of them and got them mixed up between reds and tigers. I'm still really learning about all the different species, because I always just intermixed all my worms and treated them all much the same and got good results to grow food with. And that's always been my long-term goal, but now I'm just nerding out a lot more. Want to learn more about them and look at them and get them under the, not under the microscope, but eventually under the macro lens. So I'd say that's another little baby tiger as well. And you can see, look, it's gone right through that piece of cardboard there, hollowed right through it. How awesome is that? It's just drilled right through it with his little drilly head there. You can see him searching around, trying to find somewhere to go. So we'll put you back down there and we'll keep hunting through and see what else we've got. Another little sprout come up there. And the tigers can handle a lower heat. It's quite cold, as I said, and I'd say, you know what, that could be a baby nightcrawler. It's got the long wispy tail on it. And just let me know that you're seeing these okay and how well they're coming through, and whether you're looking on a mobile phone or on a computer, and we'll work on together guys and how close we can get our shots. Still going to pull out the macro lens, so this gets pretty close within so many centimeters, and it depends on the camera and the lens and everything. But yeah, that looks like a baby nightcrawler to me, and he's still a fair bit of movement for how cold they are. Come on, mate, we'll put you back in down there and we'll dig around and see what else we've got down here. I really liked how it was hollowing through that one. I wanted to show you that because I've noticed that in other farms, how they hollow through it. Now, as I'm here, I'm going to sort of like tear it up a bit as well, make it a bit easier for them to work through it. I think this time of year, being in autumn with the colder weather, there's not as much biology going on in the farm, so there's not as much breakdown this material. So I'd say they're mostly feeding on this sort of edgy compost stuff that's in here, which has got a bit of mushroom and cow and probably a little bit of coffee in there still, and a bit of wood chip dust and stuff. So we dig through, and you can see, yeah, this looks like another tiger again. Now I could mix up my tigers and reds when they're that small, but there's a little yellow tip underneath the tail there and white underneath, and usually when I get the light on them really well, you can see the tiger stripes on them. But again, pretty small worm. It's like, I don't know how long that would have been out of the cocoon. I can't remember the sizes that I put in here. It was a real variety of sizes. So we'll dig down a bit deeper and see what we got towards the bottom level here. And you can see there's more compost down here, and there's another little baby one there with my thumb there, and then another larger one here drilling through the cardboard, the cured cardboard. If you want to learn how I cure the cardboard, check it out in the Worm Wranglers members area, guys, if you haven't been in there yet, level 3. And you can see more of a pronounced clitellum there, so a good chance that's a tiger. I'd say that the tigers are pretty predominant in mine. Still want to learn a difference between the, so like checking out between the tigers and the reds, looking at the difference when they're small. You can give me a hand with that if anyone knows. Yeah, give me an idea. And I'm finding this yellowing in the tail here is really pretty. And I think once we get them onto that macro lens, we're going to get a really good look. But when he stretches out, they have like these tigery stripes. And so that's pretty awesome. Another little one there, sort of wisping out in the tail. As the nightcrawlers get older, the tail gets much longer and browner and more pronounced. So whether that's a little nightcrawler or not, we don't know. But they're mostly small ones up the top here. I haven't come across any big worms yet. Here's something a bit bigger. I remember not putting a lot of real big ones in here though. Oh look, there's a good sized cocoon there, right there in my thumb. And It's looking like it's not far off going. Now, have we got 2 worms here or just one? So there's 2 there, and this one's a night crawler. Doesn't feel too cold. You can see the catellum's really up close to the head. Didn't like that when I got to get that bit of dirt off his head. And yeah, it's like I was saying in the other video with the bucket worm farm, when they're close together like this, you can the catellum's much more pronounced. You look at those 2 there, and tell me if you're seeing something similar as well. If you've got night crawlers, if that's the case, you can see it's much more discoloured as well, and the coloration is much whiter around the clitellum when I think they're possibly mating, doing their thing, you know. Okay, so we'll put them back down there and we'll dig down deeper again, have a look around. You can see the material for 3 weeks hasn't really been worked over too much, just because there's not a lot of worms up high. But we probably need to maybe release more in here. Another little baby. There's some cars going on outside because I'm filming outside the garage, but don't worry guys, not a lot of traffic here where I live, so it should be fine. So they're more down in this material, I think, where there's sort of a bit more composty. And yeah, another nice big night crawler, another little youngling, not far off being a wisp, a baby, and just a teenager night crawler. When you see night crawler, sometimes they're like so long and lanky in the tail, it almost feels like you look like they're almost dead sometimes. You know, you're just looking at them going, are you alive, man? Like, your tail being squished? And you're alright. And then, you know, he starts moving along like this going, well, I've got to get out of here because I'm out in the open exposed and I don't want to get eaten. And, yeah, some nice coloration again on him, and light brown, that snaky coloration underneath again. And it's fairly active. It's looking fairly healthy in this farm here. I might need to, if we've got more tigers in here, we might need to feed the system with some little bananas or something, or a little bit of fruit. I've got these little lily-pilly seeds outside, little fruits off the native fruit tree that are edible fruits for us. I reckon they might eat those. I'm going to try them on the night crawlers as well and see if they eat them or the babies eat them, or what likes to eat them. Another little baby there. So I put a whole lot of cocoons in here from when I was doing the harvest. I don't know, maybe 30 or something. So this could be one of them. Oh, cocoon just dropped down there out of that. And so he didn't come out of that's for sure. That's the cocoon there. And yeah, tiny little one. Really young. That's not far out of the cocoon really. And same movement. I can even see the clitellum on that. So I wonder if that's a little tiger. Right, we'll dig down underneath a bit more. We'll dig around because I don't mind actually mixing this up a bit, this stuff at the moment. I'm going to put another egg cardboard matting over the top for the water to soak down as I normally do, and I'm rip this up a bit more because I want to see them work through this material much better. Give a bit more space in here. I might even put a little bit more compost. But when we look down the bottom, you'll see something different when we go in the next tray. There's a lot of young worms up the top up here. Another one just there. They don't drill through the cardboard when they're that young. They're going to need a bit of age to get that head on them. And there's another little cocoon right there. That's tiny. I don't know if that is a cocoon it looks like it's just a teeny cocoon, one of the smallest I've ever seen. Almost thought it was from some type of other little pest first, but something else that might have been living in the worm farm. As I said, you might hear the neighbours next door a little bit talking here and there, but they're being pretty good. They're working on their car across the road there. And yeah, there's a bit of eggshell somehow snuck in there. Break that up a little bit too. So there's not a lot up the top. We might have to go down deep and see, because it got pretty cold. We'll get down a bit deeper then. We found some action here. Again, babies there where my thumb is. So the younger ones, they're not far off a baby, and they're sort of, like I guess once they get a bit of a clitellum, then I guess they would start coming into, what, late teens? What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments box down below. But as you know, if you looked in the nightcrawler bucket worm farm, there's a cocoon there, and it's the same one as before. Yeah, they were huge, right? They were massive. So you haven't seen that. It's just windrow tips, and then bucket worm farm check or something like that. One of my recent vlogs, and you can see how big some of those night crawlers are in my bucket worm farm. It's a pretty cool worm farm. And so let's just go for a really big deep dive and see what's in the centre right at the bottom before we go and lift this lid off and look at what's down below in the second tray, because I made 2 trays straight up. You can see that one he bolted pretty quick, and a lot of the composting material's fallen down low. Now, again, wispy tail. I thought I might have had a little tiger there. So I said I need to start working on identification of the tigers and the reds. They're so hard when they're young. I'm still learning. Really, so much to learn all the time. That's why we need to do this information, because there's just not a lot of it on the web, you know. And the people don't have the cameras and all the gear and all that stuff to do it all, because there's no money in it, see. And, you know, hopefully we're turning it in some dollars and make it more worthwhile. You keep supporting the channel and the Worm Wranglers area. I'll keep bringing out more content for you guys. Okay, let's move it. We'll move this off and go into the second layer now. That's going to be a bit further away because it's got to go up and down. But we'll put it on top of the lid there. So just give me a second. All right, sort that out. And look at that. Look at them all on top of that surface. You can see how the night crawlers are just almost like sleeping. You gonna move, mate? You gonna move? look. It hasn't really warmed up outside yet, so they're probably all a bit cold. But you can see they work through this material heaps more. And I made it a lot more composty, this one. But there's still cured cardboard in here. And obviously they quite like being down further because there's more worms down below here. Look at this. Now we're getting into some serious numbers here, guys. Some better numbers. As I said, I don't remember how many I put in exactly, but I didn't put any real big ones in. And they pretty much look like nearly like all night crawlers to me. Let's have a look at this little guy here. See what this is. Could be a tiger again. It's hard to tell until we get with the smaller ones. Hopefully they'll come out under the macro. Let me know if you're excited about seeing some of these worms underneath the macro lens up nice and close. And we'll get a good look at them. I'd love to hear from you guys, see what you think about that. Alright, let's dig down again a bit more. It's quite cold down here, as I said. I'm going to get that thermometer to check the temperatures and stuff now. Oh, nice, good sized night crawler. Not as big as the ones in the bucket worm farm, but hey, still a healthy looking girl. We like to call them girls. And lots of little ones in between. So that's interesting. And I'd say that, look, there's got to be, I didn't put that many cocoons in here. So there might have been some cocoons in the compost as well that I just missed because my compost has a lot of cocoons in them. And that one is out of Alabama. Browner looking. He's cold. Different colour. Usually out in the compost pile, in the windrows, they jump this one. Boom, 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 and jump around and up and down. Pretty sure that's the same worm. And they call them the Alabama jumper as far as I know. And they like the carbony material as well. So I've got to get some more wood chips out of my windrows for these guys. You can see moving across there. So let me know. I'm pretty sure that's an Alabama, guys. Different colour. It's not jumping around. Might just be because it's cold though. And it's stretching right out now to a decent size. It's gone, I am out of here. I want to get back down below. So we'll put him back down in there, and we'll have another bit of a dig around in here. I wonder if he's on his own, that Alabama. Might be lonely. Hasn't got any Alabama friends. I don't know much about the Alabama worm. They would have come in my mix. As I said, when I purchased these originally, I got so many different types. It was confusing about what was what in the very beginning, because they were all very small worms when I got them. They weren't big at all. They were semi-mature. And as I said, I'm still learning this, guys. Like, I need your help with it as well. If you're sort of more expertise on the varieties and stuff, I'd love to hear what you think. And then share it down below. You can see underneath the belly there. It's going to turn over. He's going to do the flipsy. So, yep, another little smallish night crawler. What else is on my finger here? Again, that looks like a tiger. When you see him stretch out, we're going to have to get the macro lens for these small ones like this. I don't think it's going to come out properly. And maybe you guys have already switched off. I don't know. Are you still watching the vlog? Let me know if you are, guys, because I'm doing my very best to bring this content to you and make it as good as I can. As you can see now, I'd have to say there's probably a good 500 worms maybe in this whole bottom layer down here. I'm just looking at sort of like going through the numbers. Every little bit of cardboard I open, there's a little wormy there. Like, even if it's just a little young one, like that. And it'd be interesting to see how big they get over time in this small system, because I'm finding they're a bit like goldfish, the night crawlers. But as I said, there's some looks like there's some reds and some tigers in here. And I really want to start learning the difference between, because maybe all my reds are still only in the other smaller farms. Hard to know. Maybe they're only in the hungry bin now and sort of died out in the windrows. I don't see them much in the windrows. I see big tigers in the windrows, and that was like I was showing yesterday in the bucket worm farm. I was saying it's a big red, and I'm like, hang on, thinking later, reds don't get that big. Would have been a big tiger, like a huge one. And when he stretches out on the head, so I can't really get that close to it, I don't think. For you guys to see, it's so tiny. And I'm looking on a tiny little screen as well, so I don't know what's, I can see it's sort of in focus, but I don't know how close it's getting up for you guys. On whatever you're watching it on the phone or on the computer. But you can see here, if we talk about the bedding a bit, I purposely put a lot more compost in the bottom one because I wanted to see where they would mostly hang out. And they definitely like, when you're doing this cardboard bedding, they definitely like it more composty. There's no doubt about it. If we go through just multiple different worms in here, many of the same similar size or smaller. This is really a baby one. The big bucket Congo farm is the one for the big bubbers, big mamas and dadders, or whatever they are. So a lot of these haven't even got cotellums on them yet, or they are, and you can see that one there has, because being a night crawler, they're not pronounced, and so that's at breeding size. So there's enough in there for them to start laying cocoons. Now, when he stretches his head out, let's have a look. Because when they stretch tigers stretch their head out, you can see stripes. These guys, you can't so much. It's interesting how he looks up and he's found that bit of dirt, and then he looks at me and goes, I put that finger there in the way, and he doesn't want to climb up it. And now he is. Can he climb up like a snake? Come on, up you go. Come on, can he do it? Can he do it? Has he got the strength to go up? I reckon he can, because they go right up like beams and all types of stuff. He's going to go down again. He's going across. Still trying to figure out where to go. It's interesting to see what they think and feel and what they're going to do. And I think naturally instinct would be go down, right? Oh, I can feel like little muscles in there, like giving a really good hard go at it. Well done, Worm Olympics. You did well there. So we'll just go through and mix this up a bit, get some air into it, break it up a bit, have a good look. And look, this, like I said, that's a healthy population, you know, that really is. And there's a couple there. You can see he's like burrowed through. Oh no, he's hiding underneath that little bit there. And those two I could be annoying them in the process of doing something groovy. So they might be making cocoons for me. But, you know, like you read about, like basically the night crawlers weren't really my original worm that I wanted to have the most of. But because of my windrows and my biggest worms ever, making the perfect systems for them, they've just exploded. And being they're so prolific, and they love the carbon material and everything I've been feeding them, they've just gone off their nut. And that's why I've got lots of night crawlers. But there's lots of reds and blues, little Alabamas, and a mixture in the other bins, which is hang on, let's get this guy out. Yeah, and the other worm farms, such as the Hungry bin and the not the maize, the other two plastic bins. We've still got mixtures in there. We want to check out what they predominantly are at some stage. All right, so that's pretty interesting. They did really well. Let's put the top layer back on top. And we'll close it up and I'll meet you back inside. Yep. All right, see you in a second. Cheers.
So what do you think of that, my friends? Are you digging around into the worm farm and having a look around? Look, I know I'm not no super expert at doing this. This is all new to me, right? And it's a lot of fun, I must admit. It's more fun than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pretty boring. But everyone seems to like those type of videos. So I thought I'll have a go at it. And now that I'm scraping through and just looking and observing and doing all this worm nerdy stuff, I'm really, really digging it. So, yeah, we're going to be digging into the Hungry bin and show you this new worm trap coming up in the next video. Like, it's actually, it was in my back of my mind as a worm trap, but I didn't want to share it until I knew that it was going to really, really work, especially with you guys. And, well, I must say that it actually is in the Worm Wranglers members area already. But it's a whole different system. Anyway, see you at the next video real soon. Have a great day. Happy gardening. Give us a bush ranger. Thumbs up. We'll see you at the next vlog/video real soon. Here comes a flexi hand. As I said, I can't reach it from there. Bye for now. Woo! Love you all.
After you're subscribed, guys, head down and check out the links in the description area. There's a really cool video also about becoming a worm wrangler and learning all you need to know about worm farming.